back on Take Action News. This is Richard Eskow, RJ Eskow, reporting and hosting. Our next and final guest is sticking with our theme of stories Pete Seeger cared about, but I'll tell you, we'd cover this story anyway because it is a very, very important one. I think you're going to be hearing a lot about it in the future. Chris Hamby is a reporter for the Center for Public Integrity. He has won all kinds of awards, well-deserved, but I'm going to skip them and get right to the story because it's very important. Chris has been writing on the connection between the coal industry and a prominent university and how that has affected miners infected with black lung disease. Chris, are you with us?
I'm here. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, your story says that a year-long investigation shows that doctors and lawyers working at the behest of the coal industry have helped defeat the benefit claims of miners sick and dying of black lung, even as disease rates are on the rise, and you name a prominent university in doing that. That's strong stuff, so I know you have your facts. Tell us a little bit about this case, if you would.
Right. So the first installment in the series looked at the most prominent law firm that does this defense work for the coal companies. It's called Jackson Kelly PLLC. It's based in West Virginia, but it really has offices across the country. And so that first story examined their pattern over decades of withholding evidence that they'd obtained from their own reviewing physicians, showing that the miners had black lung, and in some cases the most advanced stages, yet they continue to fight the claim. And sometimes it had devastating effects for the miners. In the second installment in the series, we look at the role of a group of doctors at Johns Hopkins University. They're professors at the medical school and doctors at the hospital, and these are radiologists. And what they've done for about 40 years now is read X-rays and CT scans for black lung. These are films that are sent to them by coal companies or the insurers or lawyers representing them, and they have a very long record of almost never finding black lung. They do commonly suggest other diseases, but this is even as other doctors are finding significant rates of black lung, and even after, in many of these cases, pathological evidence, so actually looking at the tissue of the lung itself, sometimes after
let me step in and ask you a couple of questions, Chris, if I may. First, so the first is the law firm of Jackson Kelly. Second is Johns Hopkins and this unit of radiologists. In terms of Jackson Kelly, if I understand you correctly, when an attorney has clear evidence that A is true, isn't there an ethical challenge in going out and arguing that in fact A is not true?
Well, and that's the key question, and it's part of an ongoing court battle. Jackson Kelly's argument is that they didn't know that A is true. In other words, two of their experts, and the only two experts that they could find, and these are guys who reliably don't find black lung, but they did in this case. But they said, nonetheless, we didn't know that he had black lung. We just knew that those opinions existed, and we were under no obligation to provide them.
Well, that's one I'm sure you'll be following.